What is a black woman? Well, let me tell you something. A black woman is strong as the color of her skin, smooth silk dark like a chocolate bar. She could be sweet or sour, if you know what I mean. She has to be tough and powerful, like a lioness who roars like a mighty queen. She can be all she can be, loving, funny, and fabulous. And I'm proud to be a black woman.
Good morning, good afternoon, it's a whole night through. Good evening, and good day to you and you and you and you. Yay! Hello everybody, my online family and friends. Welcome again to another episode of the Sensu Show. Welcome to the PHLB Radio. Viva Las Vegas! Well, today we're going to continue on because it's still Black History Month. And of course, we're celebrating Lenten season. So, the other hand, you can eat meat, and the other hand, you can't. So it's up to you what you want to do. But see, for me, for Lenten, I might have to give up meat on Fridays. And I don't know, some other things like alcohol, but I don't really drink alcohol that much, But I'm so excited because of our two beautiful guests today. They're very inspirational. Well, you're going to see them later. And today, because we're celebrating Black History Month, is to give how important it is to celebrate it, because we want to unite everyone and to give more understanding of one another. And let me tell you something about the four colors that represents Black History Month. First, it's the black, which represents resilience. Red, which is meant to symbolize the blood of innocent black lives shed throughout history. Yellow, which is meant to convey optimism, justice, and equality. And green, which is used to symbolize Africa's rich greenery and other natural resources. And you guys, I found this amazing YouTube video about these children just having so much fun in Africa. Because as you know, most black people are from Africa. And they're the first, people that actually existed in this earth. And that's what they say. I mean, that's what Wikipedia said. But, you don't have to believe me. But just check these kids out. And I hope you enjoyed the way I enjoyed watching them. Check it out.
Can be a better place if started to care and stop being selfish in what we do. So brother, we got to move together. Sister, we got to fight together. Together we strong. My friend, that's the meaning of love. I look to you in the darkest hour. I look to you in the time of trouble. You It's like you look at someone looks up to you, and they have that one quality to acquire. So friend, when I'm tired and weak, you're always on my mind. Together we're strong, my friend. That's the meaning of love. I look to you in the darkest hour. I look to you in the time of trouble. You bring me hope and wash my tears away. I look to you, my friend. You're the meaning of love. Beautiful world when we come together. You and me can make life better. Beautiful world when we come together. I look to you in the darkest hour. I look to you in the time of trouble. You bring me hope and wash my tears away. I look to you, my friend. You're the meaning of love. I look to you in the darkest hour. I look to you in the time of trouble. You bring me hope and wash my tears away. I look to you, my friend. You're the meaning of love.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed. Oh my God, isn't that amazing, you guys? I mean, you don't have to have expensive, instruments to enjoy it. Thank you for whoever made the video. Now let's talk about Lenten season. It's a 40 days period of fasting, prayer, and almsgiving that Catholics and other Christian religions around the world observe in preparation for Easter. We started off with Ash Wednesday last week. Take a look at these meaningful practices that Catholics partake to celebrate this Holy Week. First, let's go to Czech Republic and Moravians. On Holy Thursdays, they commemorate the Last Supper. So in order to do that, they will celebrate the day by eating greens such as salads and spinach all day long. I don't know if I can do that all day long. At least there's a little meat there or something, or shrimp, or seafood. This is what the best way to get the kids to eat vegetables. They're very, very smart. Our next country is in the Middle East and Eastern Orthodox. Now they're pretty, they're very tight. They're very serious about this. The Great Lent starts on March 7th. They kind of start a little late. Spirit thought for fellow Christians in the Middle East who, check this out, who not only give up meat for the entire period. Whew, I don't know if I can do it. I think I tried it before, no meat in 40 days, but also go without dairy. No, that's really, really very strict. Fish, olive oil, eggs, and alcohol. Now I can give up maybe, 2 of those: alcohol, eggs, dairy, but fish and olive oil for the whole 40 days. That's really what we call a serious fasting. Okay, now let's go in Mexico. On the 4th Friday of Lent, Mexicans celebrate what they call La Samaritana, where people will give water, ice cream, and fruit to passerby in homage to the Samaritan woman who gave Jesus water at the well. Isn't that amazing? Okay, now this sounds delicious. The British Isles, hot cross buns traditions behind the popular spiced sticky pastry with dried fruits berry. Melts in my mouth. For Catholic, the bun should be made and eaten only on Good Friday. So if you're not Catholic, you can eat it anytime. But for Catholic, you can only eat it on Good Friday. And it's full of religious symbolism, topping the bun in a decorative cross that represents Christ's crucifixion. And the spices found inside are reminiscent of spices to emball Christ. I don't know if I want to eat that now. Kind of sad. But in India, now they do it in 3 days. The pre-Lenten festivities take up 3 days celebrations before Ash Wednesday. Oh, they're party people. They are a huge celebration with lots of eating, music, and dancing. The event brings whole communities together with people of all religious denominations joining in. That sounds kind of fun, huh? In India. And now, my Philippines. Now I know that because I grew up in the Philippines. I was born and raised there, so we definitely take it seriously in the Philippines. As Filipinos recall Christ's passion, His suffering, death, and resurrection. Philippines population is made up of a big number of devout Catholics. Really Christianity is number one in the Philippines, which is the reason why Lent season or Holy Week traditions are commonly practiced in a very unique way. Holy Week is considered sometimes as a public holiday. They have 5 days off. Anyway, I need to go back there for the holidays. Or maybe I go to work there for the holidays, but definitely we don't get a whole week of holiday. One of the tradition is Pabasa ng Pasyon, known as Pabasa. Now, I've attended this. It's a long, long day, and it's prayer. I mean, really continuous. It's a group of people takes turns to chant parts of the verses from the book known as Passion. Pabasa is done continuously, day and night, from Monday until Good Friday. Now let's go on with the. Now that you learned something, you guys, now let's go on with the show for my first guest. See you soon. Hi everyone, welcome back. Oh my God, I'm so excited about my new guest because he's very, very influential in the Bay Area. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He's an educator, he's a musical director, he's a chief operating officer for Twin Kim Production, and it's a nonprofit organization that mentors youth and young adults in the Bay Area. Please help me welcome Mr. Kevin Peabody. Hi,
Hello.
Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I mean, this is a perfect timing because we're celebrating Black History Month.
Yeah.
And why not celebrate it with one of the most important people in the Bay Area, which is you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Because you've done so much in the Bay Area. You've done so much, especially with the youth and young adults, when it comes to music and everything else. So tell us a little bit about your new project that you're working on.
Well, my new project is entitled Wait. We produced it in 2020. So it's kind of, it's 4 years old, but we have something new on the table now, which will be released within the next month. But let me talk about the old one first. The first one is Wait, and you can find it on all digital media. And then we have a new project coming out with Lawrence Beeman singing a song called Fear Cannot Live Where Faith Is Supposed to Reside. Beeman is the fourth runner-up for America's Got Talent, and he's a great singer. And so I encourage you all, when you see it, and we'll start the promotional information very within the month. So please look for it. It's called Fear Cannot Live Where Faith Is Supposed to Reside. Twin Kim Productions, and Kevin Peabody is the producer.
Yeah. And I just want to thank you also for the video that you shared to us from your choir when they sang the national anthem, the Black national anthem.
Right, and he's leading on that as well.
Yeah. And it was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And Black history is very important. It's a right time to educate a lot of Americans, or not even non-Americans, because we're worldwide.
Yes.
But important to celebrating Black History Month, because there's so many things to learn about. There's so many things that being talked about. And what do you think about our young generation? Are they really adapting the meaning of how important it is to celebrate Black History Month?
I think that they are up for the celebration. However, there is ignorance regarding our accomplishments and achievements, and that ignorance is pretty much continued because you won't find it in the book. The
Yes.
books that they read, even if you go into Asian history, Hispanic history, Filipino history, other ethnic histories, they won't be found in the American textbooks.
Yeah.
And what you notice is that it is very limited in terms of what it has to say about African Americans.
Yes.
So I think that it is problematic also for their parents because they remain ignorant too regarding African American accomplishments.
Yes.
And it is up to us as educators to show them that the story does not just begin in slavery, the story begins in Africa. And there's such a wide bridge of understanding that we need to reach out and empower our youth in knowing.
Yes, and when you talk about Black History Month, it's not just here in the United States, because I talked about it. The very first Black people actually that discovered the Philippines are the Black Africans, and they migrated to Australia and from Australia to the Philippines.
Yes.
So we should recognize that we shouldn't just celebrate here in the U.S., but worldwide.
It should be celebrated worldwide. Well, you know, every day is Black History Month for me.
Not just in February.
Not just in February. 24/7, 365 days of the year.
We're always gonna be here. We're not going
yes.
nowhere.
And so
that's why when sometimes it's kind of frustrating, to be honest, frustrating to ask about the youth right now. Like, okay, what do you understand about Black History Month? Well, you know, rap music.
Well, I have some very interesting students. I teach from PK through 8th grade. And what I've been noticing is that I play a film it's called The Balm in Gilead, excuse me, from Lift, and it features the song Lift Every Voice. And what it does is shows images of African Americans from the pyramids all the way up to Obama, to contemporary times.
Yes.
And there are at least 65 to 70 images within that video that people should be acquainted with. Yes. But what I've discovered is that most times they only know about 10 to 20. Oh. And those are the 10 to 20 images Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, you know, those images that many Americans always lift around this time. But there are thousands of images and persons and achievements that they should know about.
Yes.
They don't know about the inventors and the people who, a lot of people don't even know that California had a Black man in its inception, and Illinois, Chicago was founded by a Black man, Baptiste Gustavo. So there are important lessons to learn from those who are PK through 8th grade. And I think that's where it actually needs to start.
Yes. And I just found out actually today that Mr. Louis Martin is one of the influential person that advised President Kennedy. Carter. I mean, I was amazed. He's always behind, you know, he doesn't want to be recognized. He doesn't want to be on the spot. But a lot of people didn't realize that he's one of the most important person that really delegated some of the reasoning that President Kennedy and you know, how it's
well, there have always been Black people at the White House.
Yes.
From its in fact, the memorials were all configured by a Black man. The architect was a Black man. And it is slaves who built the entire White House, the monuments, you know, so people just need to know their histories.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I've also discovered in terms of Washington, D.C., It has the most educated Blacks within the nation.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people just are clueless.
Yes. And what do you think about when they banned some of these books in Florida about the young
I think that it
generation
is
of slavery?
absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Well, I know a lot of people are very uncomfortable about talking about slavery because they feel that, you know, that people are placing a guilt trip on them. But I think that's exactly where the problem begins. When people were enslaved, and they tried to sometimes paint a happy picture, like there was just a happy slave going on, and it was a horrific experience.
Yes, I don't think there's funny about being slave. It
No,
doesn't matter
there's
what culture
nothing.
being slave. The word slavery doesn't mean you're supposed to be happy about it.
No,
You know, I
but
don't think
they
there's
were
funny or
but they-
happy about the word slaves.
right.
Yeah.
But within the stereotypes and the
Yes.
tropes, slaves were shown as being happy and just loving every moment of it, and that is just so ridiculous.
Yes, it
So
is.
ridiculous.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I point out to all my students that they should take it upon themselves, and I give them assignments to look at other persons other than Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and the traditional persons that they put forward.
Yes, because there's a lot of Black Americans out there that are very influential, like you.
Right.
You know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're one of those people that we call unsung heroes in communities.
Right.
And should be talking about and because you just, contributed a lot of your time. Of course, you don't really have to do this, but because you love this country and you love to make a difference in someone's life. That's why you're doing extra things to educate youth and young adults.
Right. And I was pointing out to one of the teachers, she says, she made the same comment that I made. It's not in the history books that they read. And I teach at a Catholic school, and I was saying, yes, that's true. And I said, because I didn't receive any, my parents educated me because they brought in Jet and Ebony magazines. And then there was a volume of what they call Negro history books that they brought in, which I learned a lot from. But actually, the actual instruction was not given to me until about the 12th grade. And what the main concentration was on Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, So, and then I went on to a black institution called Fisk University, and I learned quite a bit. One of the most interesting stories about me going to the South to be educated is about a week. I decided after a week in being in Nashville, Tennessee, and this was in 1972, and I decided to go downtown and check out things. And I noticed that there were signs. They had the colored signs, and I was just appalled because I had never seen, colored only signs. And all of those, but they had to place them somewhere, right? There were so many of them where Black people didn't have Black people could not enter from the front door. They had to go around the back, or they had to take a service out because white people didn't serve them. So I noticed all of these signs and I was just amazed. And then another story that I had is that we were going down to Huntsville, Alabama for a football game. And on our way back, we noticed there was fire going on. Oh, and it was the Ku Klux Klan burning crosses. And I was like, amazing. I said, let's move quickly.
That's why you're still here.
Let's move quickly.
You survived.
Yeah, I survived.
Yeah, but I can tell you a lot of stories also.
Yeah, I know.
Discriminated, because because one time I volunteered into this play, and it's in a military community, and basically, so the play was very successful, so we get invited outside of military community, and this is in uh, Missouri, actually, and this
Right.
is in the 90s.
Right.
And I know I'm only 25, but still,
Right. I understand. I'm close. I'm about 33.
So we were so excited.
I'm a little older, but you go ahead.
So we were doing the can dancing and stuff like that. So I'm so excited that I was the only Black person, and everybody else, they're all white women, and so
Right.
so we got volunteered, and we danced outside the festival, outside the gate, and then all of a sudden they took a picture and put us in the newspaper, and guess what? They cut me off.
Wow.
I was in the middle. All you can see is my feet.
Wow.
That
is crazy.
Yeah, the producer came to my house, and they were like, "I'm so sorry, Sun-Soo, because these people, we can never change it," and all that. I said, and I was shocked. I was like,
you should have been shocked.
Community.
But I grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois, so that's right across the river from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
And Missouri has been a pretty much conservative city, or St. Louis is a pretty conservative city, and it was where the Dred Scott case was tried,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked against Black people.
Mm.
It didn't give Black people the rights to move like they wanted to. So it has a long history of discrimination.
Yeah.
But even out of that, there are some great individuals who come out of St. Louis.
Yes. Actually, Fort Leonard, Missouri. This is Fort Leonard Army base, and I was like, oh. But on top, besides that, because you travel a lot, do you have any new are you going to be traveling again this year anywhere?
Well, I am. I plan on going back to Cuba in the next month or so, and I try to go there. I like going there because it helps me to be real in terms of you don't need everything you think you need. And you don't.
By the way, is there anything that we should celebrate during Black History Month?
Yeah, I think we should celebrate each other.
Yes. Amen to that.
And be grateful that we have friends and family, and that we're still here after COVID.
Yes, and we're still alive. We should celebrate.
We're still alive, and we still have another opportunity to share with others.
And to make a difference.
And we could, Ash Wednesday was a day of repentance. And then, but it was Valentine's Day too, so we can repent and love at the same time. How about that?
That was a good combination.
Yeah.
Love and ashes.
Right, that's right.
I can say about Ash Wednesdays, being Catholic, so I went to church, I didn't put that there. And then you go outside and you go back to your family, like, are you sure you had ashes? I'm like, please.
Right.
I know
they don't know. They do. It's the sign that in 40 days, things will change dramatically.
So what's your resolution for 2024?
My resolution is to accelerate.
Yes.
And that we all should accelerate and be our best selves.
Wow. That's a very good resolution. I thought you were going to say, well, I'm going to go on diet, the normal thing that everybody's going to diet.
Accelerate. We're going up. That's where we're going up.
Lift every voice. There you go.
That's right.
Oh my God, it's always exciting to talk to you, Kevin. I mean,
likewise. Likewise.
You always give life. You always,
the great Sun-Soo.
Oh, thank you. You're always so positive. You're always so positive. And I wish everybody could get a little bit of you, because there's so many negativity, the attitude and everything else. they
And
need
you have a great audience. You have a great audience, and I want to also acknowledge them as well and tell
Oh,
them to keep the faith, baby. Keep the faith and
would you,
accelerate. Yes, sir.
would you like to give a shout out to any of your family or friends?
Oh, no, I'm good. I think we've covered our bases today.
Go by. But thank you so much for spending time with us.
It's always a pleasure.
Oh, thank you, and thank you for sharing the educational part
Thank
and
you
learn
for the
more about
opportunity.
Black history, because it's really something that we need to talk about all the time, because there's still a lot. It's got a long way to go. We're there, but still have. I know we elected the first Black president, but we
Right.
still have a long way to go.
A long way to go. So we're
Yeah.
gonna do like the song. We're gonna lift every voice and sing by
Yeah.
James Weldon Johnson, right? Yeah. Till earth and heaven ring with harmonies of liberty. Is what we need. Yeah,
That's why I'm wearing my afro today.
it's all good. I was checking it out.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin. And
You're welcome.
thank you for sharing again. God bless you. Continue
right.
your success. Continue, educating us and be more active in your community. God bless you always.
God bless you and your family.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Po, si Orlino de la Cruz ay kapitan po ng Patal Pinto sa Pinatubo. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa Aita Tribe Foundation. Nagpapasalamat po ako uli sa mga bigay niyo po. Dito po ay lumiwanag na po ang namin po, community namin po. Nuulit ko lang po, nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo po. Ito po. Ay, mas pasalamat kami po sa nagtutulong sa amin po sa Aita Foundation po. Ngayon lang po kami ng ilaw na maliwanag po dito sa Patal Pinto po. Thank you po.
Ito po yung mga kasama namin, nag-install ng solar dito sa sitio Dayday. Ayan si Conchal, ayan si Joseph, si Goryo, si Commander Aka, ito si Kapitan, ayan si Pangkok, ayan si Ate Parina, ayan ang cooker namin, si Ate Parina, ayan dito kami sa Sitio Dayday, ayan Dayday pala yung Sitio Dayday, ayan, ayan
Mamili-pili ka ba?
ayan sila, nandito kami ngayon, nagluluto, ayan ayan yung asawa ni Kap, ayan sila, ayan yung mga yan, maliwanag na sa labas. Good morning everybody, nandito po kami ngayon sa Sitio Dayday, nag-install ng solar panel, ayan sila ayan si Kagawad Menus ng Sitio Dayday, ayan si Pangkok, ayun dito
Bilala ko yata.
dito po kami natulog, super lamig, parang nasa Tagaytay, ayan ayun po yung pinatubo, yung may pag.
Hi, everyone. Well, I have to wear my glasses because, this is a very serious one. We're talking about government here. And I'm so excited about my next guest because, I'm just so inspired. And he really going to inspire a lot of young generation. Because let me tell you something about him. This is a brief, introduction. He started as a community organizer and a political action to student government. A two-term buddy president of Contra Costa Colleges, appointed by former California Governor Mr. Jerry Brown to represent a 2.3 million students into, let me see here, as a California Community Colleges Board of Governors. Please help me welcome the first term governor of Hercules, Mr. Alex Walker Griffin. Hi, Alex.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Thank you for coming and spending time with us, from your busy schedules. So I know everyone is going to shock because you're so young being a governor. Oh my God. Tell us a little bit about what inspired you to be in politics.
Yeah, so well, thank you for that. And thank you again for having me. I got interested in politics when I was a really little kid. So my dad used to be the fire marshal of Oakland. So I started going to city council meetings in Oakland when I was about 5, 6 years old. And then fast forward when I was about 10, that's when President Obama was running for his first campaign. And every day when I come home from school, my mom would just keep up with the election. And so my grandmother and my mom really emphasized knowing who was in office because you can't complain if you don't know who to complain to, right? And so they really emphasized that message. And that's what just got that spark in government for me. Now, I was probably the only 10-year-old kid who could tell you who Mitch McConnell was or Paul Ryan was. So it just kind of became like sport. People would keep up with the Lakers. I would keep up what was happening in Washington. And so that little bug just became interested, developed an interest in there from down the road. I decided I wanted to get involved. So I started getting involved with campaign when I was about 13. And then from there, just really haven't let up. High school got really involved. And then that's what led to the stuff in community college and ultimately landed me on the board of governors to where I am now on the city council here in Hercules.
So why Hercules? You live in Hercules. That's why it is you're the mayor of Hercules, right? So what is it interests you being politician in Hercules? What driven you to be a mayor?
Yeah, so Hercules is my hometown. So I've lived in Hercules since I was 5 years old. And so, when it came that time to decide what I wanted to do after high school, I went to community college first, as you mentioned in my bio. And, I kind of thought to myself, okay, do I want to stay in the Bay Area? Do I want to go to LA or where do I want to go next? I knew deep down I wanted to create some sort of change. And it just didn't feel right to me to leave and go somewhere else to try to fix a place I don't know. So I decided I wanted to stay local here in town and help out the community that I'm from and I actually know. I don't think that it would be of service to others to move to somewhere else and try to fix something when here in Hercules and the surrounding area, we already have a bunch of issues that we can tackle.
What are the challenges in Hercules that you can tackle being a mayor?
Yeah, so one of the big or two really big ones for us is economic development. Recently, my colleagues put forward a grant up to $25,000, ideally to bring in a restaurant or a retail shop to attract businesses here in town. Being that Hercules has historically been a commuter city, a bread and breakfast community, a lot of people have overlooked our city. So most people are going into San Francisco for work and coming back out here to go to bed. But most people shop in Walnut Creek and Concord to buy their clothes. And we want to keep those dollars as close to home as possible. So we have that. Another thing is transportation. Anyone who's been to Hercules and has drove on 80 at 5 p.m. knows how much traffic we have to deal with. And actually, Contra Costa County in particular, this stretch of 80 has the worst traffic in the state. Not making that up, you can look it up. So what we've been doing is working on our Hercules Hub, which is ferry, train, and bus service along our waterfront. We're a couple years out from the completion of the project, but those are just two examples of things that we're working on here in town that are real headaches for us, but also real challenges for us.
So how long have you been a mayor?
Yeah, I've been on the council since 2020. So this is almost my 4th year in my first
term.
Oh
my God, really? So it means because you're what, 26 now? 26. So you started when you were 22 years old?
I was elected when I was 23, just a couple weeks after my 23rd birthday.
Oh my Lord. See, you're already part of history. You're very young to be, in politics, and you're really going to inspire a lot of generation to be more active, to be more involved in their communities. Because with your age, not a lot of in your age that being in politics and being active in their communities, because they're kind of busy about dating or playing games or but you're solving problems, you're solving budget, oh my Lord. Your parents really raised you very well. So do you have any besides being a mayor, any inspiration or desire to grow further to being a mayor? To be, lieutenant colonel, lieutenant colonel, attorney general, lieutenant, I'm thinking about military, attorney general, or being a governor of California?
Well, funny enough that you mentioned the military. I am in the military. I'm an Army officer myself. So one day I would like to be a lieutenant colonel. I'm a first lieutenant right now. But down the road, I mean, I'm up for re-election right now. So hopefully the voters decide to give me a second chance this November, and then from there, after that 4-year term, we'll see what happens. But right here, right now, there's a lot of issues in Hercules that I want to see through. One of them being the Hercules hub. So I couldn't tell you what down the road's going to bring, but I do know right now that I want to make sure that I leave a good mark here on the city first. So who knows?
Yes, you're really leaving a good mark. And but the things that I've heard about you, the one you've done so far in Hercules, and I know that this is a Black History Month. So, do you think that there's any changes from the time that Dr. Martin Luther King kind of introduced about rights and racism and civil rights and all that? Is there any changes that you think that happening, or still the same from the 1960s?
Oh, I think, we've definitely made a lot of strides, but there's a lot that we could still improve on.
Mhm.
One of which is just police accountability, right? A
Yeah.
lot of cities have police oversight boards. So now if a cop commits a crime, they can go to jail. I mean, we've seen it with George Floyd and Derek Chauvin. Obviously,
Yeah.
that was a tragedy that none of us will ever forget. But Officer Chauvin, or Derek Chauvin, I should say, he was held accountable. And he's not getting out of prison anytime soon. So that
Yeah.
right there, I hate to say this, but even myself, I mean, being 26 years old, getting my master's degree from Johns Hopkins, an Army officer, and all these other titles that I have, I mean, yes, they could have potentially been possible during Dr. King's time, but they would have been certainly more difficult. So people like him and so many others from his generation and prior have really blazed the trails for me to be able to do what I am today. So I think we've definitely made a lot of strides, but there's obviously a lot more improvements that we can make. I mean, if you think about areas around air quality, right? Food
Yes.
injustice, housing, we've made great strides. Yes, you can't bar somebody from living somewhere just because of the color of their skin, but that
Yes.
doesn't mean access to housing has really become any easier. So again, we've made strides, but there's a lot more that we can continue to work on.
Oh, but how about the homelessness? That is the biggest issue that we have right now in California. And
Yeah.
and yes, how can you actually an idea, or how can we change that, community? It's really hard. They're really struggling.
Yeah, it's really depressing to see and
Mhm.
saddening to see so many people who are unhoused on our streets here in California. I think one of the things that we have to do is really have to have a tough conversation about how can we get people off the streets and into the
Yes.
services that they need. Because when you see things where somebody is going through some mental distress, whether it
Yeah.
might look like they're yelling at someone on the street that may not
Mhm.
actually be there in San Francisco, that's more of a cry for help for anything. So what we really need to do is we need to step up our mental health services opportunities out there and meet people where they are. It shouldn't be that it's only court ordered and court mandated stuff that allows people to get these resources. The majority of the people that we see on our streets today are usually people who have mental illness. I used to work with children with autism for a number of years. And one of
Wow.
the things that I was always concerned with is when they turn 18 or their
Mhm.
parents get older, what's going to happen next for them. So I think if we revise some of our laws, because right now we're in a tough situation. So if you're unhoused, the state can't force you into housing. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying we need to go back to the Victorian era and just
Mhm.
put anyone into a home just because
Mhm.
they look like they have some sort of challenge.
Mhm.
But we at the same time, we do need to be a little bit more potentially aggressive in helping
Mhm.
people out earlier on, because I always question this. At what point is it cruel to allow someone to be on the streets who clearly cannot support themselves? And I think about that from the kids that I used to work with. They wouldn't be able to fend for themselves when they're my age, living on the streets alone. They just don't have the mental capacity to do so. So I think that's what we got to do. And then the folks who are, maybe just, I don't want to say down on their luck, but maybe
Mhm.
lost their homes to foreclosure, whatever, get them the financial services that they
Yes.
need. I think it's not just one size fits all solutions. It's the
Yeah.
wraparound services that need to begin early on. There's always that same group of people that will fall to being homeless and unhoused way more earlier than others. But at the same time, those who are unhoused altogether need to have the services so we can get them into permanent shelter, permanent homes, and allow them to be able to rent or buy a home down the future. Not do what we do now, where we just sort of nurse, but we don't rather find a solution down the road.
Oh my God, that is amazing. That's a very amazing solution. I know, as you said, there's no one glove fits all, but at least if you start somewhere, like the mental issues, and it's so sad because a lot of military retirees are on the streets, being homeless, not just mental issues, but also just no place to go, and just lost out there. And a lot of young people right now too. Some of them graduate from college, but sometimes it's so hard for them to find employment, and they sort into not just in drugs, but also if they don't have any family support. I think one thing is the family support, and if you don't have that, then they're lost. They don't know where to go. But one thing that I just understand, because a lot of rich people, why is it that they have accommodation when they have children that are on drugs or that have disabilities? So why not we can do that for the community, a program that could introduce to that. But what do you think?
Yeah, well, it's because, it's unfortunate, but this is the case here in America. We've put so much emphasis on the private sector that the
Yes.
public sector, government sector, gets the least amount of funding. And again, I saw this when I worked with children with autism, because I was working at a private company. If you had the money to put your kid into a program like that, your kid was going to be okay. But there's so many families who will not be able to do that simply because they can't afford it. So they're going to be missing out on an abundance of opportunities. So the real solution is we have to stop leaning on the private sector and actually invest back into the public sector, so where the government can be the first option, because the private sector is going to make their rules to favor them, and they're going to make their money at the end of the day, which may not always be in the best interest of the people.
Yes. So I know this is your first term, and I'm looking at in advance that on your second term.
Yeah.
I'm already proposing you. I'm electing you already on your second
Thank
term.
you.
What will be your goal?
Oh man, so several goals. So one of them is to see the Hercules Hub through to completion. That's definitely number one. Continue on the work that we're doing around children's mental health. I actually have an initiative. It's going to be coming up in our next council meeting in a couple of days, talking around first-time parents. So having a first-time parents clinic. So free resources to diapers, formulas, and even learn how to do CPR on your newborn baby. So things like that, and expanding our economic development base, because again, Hercules historically has been a bread and breakfast community. And I want to change that. I still want to maintain the suburban quiet city feel that Hercules has, but I want people to be able to stay in town and go to a restaurant. They don't always have to drive to Martinez, Walnut Creek, or keep going down Highway 4, or keep going down I-80. So finish up just the work that we're starting, and then just continue to expand on what's possible. A couple months ago, President Biden invited me to the White House. And as I was walking through the halls of the White House, I was just in complete disbelief that one, that I was there, but two, that, me being the only person from a small city, there were 3 other mayors, and I was the only one west of the Missouri River and the one from the smallest city. So that, to me, was just a reminder of how far we can go as a city. And I want to keep building off that momentum, hopefully in the second term.
Oh my God, you really have your second term. I'm pronouncing it today. You're going to have your second term.
Thank you.
Oh my God, listening to you, my hair is standing up. I'm just so proud of you. I mean, I'm not even your mother, but
Oh, thank you.
proud of you, man. I mean, oh my God. I mean, I knew you accomplished a lot of things, and I know a lot of the Hercules is so lucky to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lucky to have you, because I know there will be more changes to come on your second term, and also, and I hope that Hercules appreciate all the things that you have done so far, and I know there will be new changes. And watch out, Hercules, there are going to be new changes. Mayor's coming back to second term. It's going to be more and more. So,
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Mayor Griffin. And would you like to shout out or to anyone out there? How do you inspire a lot of young generation?
Yeah, so just shout out to all the residents of Hercules, right? That make this city such a great place to live. I mean, it's amazing when you can walk down Sycamore Avenue, San Pablo Avenue, and you never know the person that you're going to come in contact with. It's a city that's majority minority, that's upper middle class. So it's a city of inspiration. I really think that this city is the essence of the American dream. So to all 26,000 residents here in town, thank you for doing what you do. Every time I meet people, like today, I met a gentleman today who stopped me at the gas station just to say hi. Listening to his story, I just found so inspiring and amazing. So definitely that. And to the young people out there, change really starts within. It starts with the individual. There's no YouTube video that you can watch that's going to change society. Change is small, it's big, but at the same time, you never know what the impact that you're going to make on somebody just by holding open a door or just advocating for someone that you don't know, or even advocating for yourself and causing that inspiration domino effect. So those are the people that I would shout out.
Wow. One step at a time.
Absolutely.
Difference. Definitely. Oh my Lord. Well, thank you so much, Mayor Griffin, for sharing all your thoughts and your goals, and I want to see you again when you're in second term. We can
Absolutely.
the part 2 on this.
Absolutely. Wish me luck this November. Try to take it home.
I wish I could vote for you. You know, I'm in a different city, but I wish I could sneak up there and just vote.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Enjoy the holidays. It's a 3-day weekend, and I know you're gonna be working anyway, because I can see it. You know, working person, your mind works all the time. And I say thank you. God bless you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you again. All right.
Yes, thank you. You take care. God bless you.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed our show today. I would like to thank my amazing guests. First with Mr. Kevin Peabody. And being a musical, I've known him for a long time, and I've seen some of his concerts of his choir. He's the CEO with Twin Kept Productions and the mayor of Hercules, Mayor Alex Walker Griffin. One of the youngest mayor I've ever met. My God, and he's so intelligent, he's so smart, and plus he's in the military. I know how he can do it, but it's good to be young. You can do a lot of things, and he's really making it happen. And I'm so proud of those my guests, who inspired us and motivated us to be more involved in our communities and be more active. You know, they really inspired me. I hope they inspired you too. And of course, I want to thank PHLB Radio team led by Johan Sison, Viva Las Vegas. And of course, I want to thank all of you for being with me again this week. And I hope you, as I said, you enjoyed my show today and spending time with me. It really means a lot. And I hope don't forget to subscribe and also send me any comments and what you want me to do and what you want me to conquer. Conquer like I'm just covering a country. But anyway, and don't forget to spay and neuter your pets. And also my mom's book. You know, you can actually pick up a copy Amazon. Remember, the title is Elizabeth Ramsey, Queen of Philippine Rock and Roll. And I hope all of you will be reading it, you know, and we don't have to kind of like we have to take a time, you know, sometimes we need to read. And guys, after I say goodbye to you, please tune in, because I have a song that I would like to sing for you, to prepare as a message, to prepare for Christ's resurrection during the season of Lent. We must praise God to sacrifice His only Son. So I hope that you know, it will bring something to you. So I just want to say again, thank you so much. God bless you all. Again, love, peace, and joy. See you soon, and tune in. Bye. Soul of Christ, sanctify me. Body of Christ, save me. Water from the side of Christ, wash me. Passion of Christ, give me strength. Hear me, Jesus. Hide me in thy bosom, that I may never leave thy side.